and Texas being a top 10 ranked team on my list. But then I looked at teams from like 11 to 15, and I said, well, these teams haven't showcased to be better. And Texas seemingly was on the come up. There seemed to be some momentum there. There seemed to be maybe some mojo from Arch Manning. And then at the same time, I expressed my concerns for Texas, where I would state the offense looks like they're trying not to lose when their defense has shown a lot of inconsistencies throughout the year. And they're going against a very, very resilient Georgia team on the road at home. And they're already 0-2 against Georgia, 0-3 now. So 3 losses to Georgia thus far since joining the SEC. And that's not the greatest look in the world. And to lose by that amount, too, just kind of showcased where Quinn Ewers' team was with a similar roster versus where Arch Manning is with this roster. And we talked about it early in the year as well. There was a lot of offensive guys that left for the draft. There was a lot, and that needs to be taken into account. However, the drop-off, I would believe, isn't so substantial as some might claim. I still think Texas has the roster to win football games, but when you watch their offense perform, again, they seem like they're playing trying not to lose. What does that mean? Jared, what does that mean that the Texas offense is playing not to lose? It's the high percentage throws that they call schematically. It's the screen passes, the smokes, the jailbreaks, the tight ends. They're up, they're down multiple possessions. They're still throwing bubble screens. They're accumulating very short yardage plays. There's no shot plays being executed. Throws downfield are inaccurate. All these second to third level throws are just inadequate. They're not hitting for Arch Manning, and you could say they're not hitting, and you can also say they're just inaccurate passes. And so I just haven't trusted what I've seen from Texas. Now I can cemently say that Texas is not a strong SEC team this year. I don't think so. I think they can surprise you, and we really want we really wanted that offense, defense, and special teams to click versus Georgia on the road. Whether that was going to be enough or not, I figured it could be, but it didn't happen. So, like I always say, if ifs and buts were honey and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And I obtained that from my high school coach. I still think it applies today. But nonetheless, Texas has the big game against Texas A&M at home. I can still see them winning that football game. What does that mean for Texas A&M? Well, A&M would be 11-1 and 7-1 in the conference, I believe. So, not too much damage to Texas A&M if they lose that game. And if Texas were to finish 9-3, it's a really good 9-3 year. It really is. They're not going to make the playoffs, no, but I had people bickering about, OU spent all this time and effort recruiting and doing all this to be 9-3 football team. Dude, their strength of schedule, you finished 9-3. That's an impeccable year, extravagant year, phenomenal year. Same thing with. And then Texas in a lesser category than that. I understand they're going to play A&M, and A&M is a top 5 or top 10 ranked team. Ohio State, top 10 ranked team. Vanderbilt, top 15 ranked team. OU, top 15 ranked team. They played all those guys. But it was what they did against the lesser opponents that was far less impressive. But at the end of the day, going 9-3 in the SEC is not something to be upset about. It's not, whether it might not be good enough to get in to the college football playoff, but let's be honest, like this year, Alabama kind of assisted with it, but we didn't expect Ole Miss, Georgia, and Texas A&M to be one-loss programs. We thought more categorically that we would see more two-loss teams within the SEC. And shoot, we were very close to having it with Texas A&M down 3-30 at halftime versus South Carolina at home. And so Georgia and Ole Miss would have been the only two teams with one loss. But at the same time, it's going to be impossible, unless A&M does it, for a team to go undefeated in the SEC. It's just a different atmosphere now, and it's what all of you guys have been asking for. Everyone's been asking for this. Oh, Alabama always runs the tables. Alabama, this, that, and the other. Georgia always. Well, now everyone's playing each other close. There's one team beats the other. It's a lot like the NFL, and the committee and the fans have to get used to that. And I've preached that all throughout this year. You're going to have to get used to these conference teams, especially in the SEC, with the amount of money they pay and the amount of leverage that they have in the transfer portal and with the head coaches and NIL and their draft picks historically. You're going to have to get used to 2-3 loss programs being really good football teams and considered in the selection process. But we have figured out what Texas is. They are just an above average SEC team this year that when all the pieces come together, they could possibly steal a victory.